Yeah, but as my co-host, we're going to do some badgering a little bit first.
Badgering?
Bantering.
Just get some
bantering.
energy going.
I was thinking badgering.
Yeah, I just don't want to be like, hi, welcome to the show.
Don't give a shit.
So, does that change the timeline on this?
Maybe by a minute or two. We don't have to be like. And welcome to the Golden Road TV show. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and we're actually just a day away from change of, I want to say leadership, but I think that might be very hopeful, but definitely a change of political parties at the Capitol. Exciting time of so much change and innovation, old things falling apart, new things starting to emerge. So thanks for tuning in. You're watching the Golden Road TV show. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and we broadcast live every Tuesday from the Nevada County Resilience and Innovation Hub. And really happy to be here this week. And before I do much more talking, again, thanks for watching the show. Be sure to subscribe. You can share the show with your friends. We're also on Nevada County Peeps, Grass Valley Peeps, and Nevada City Peeps, and the San Juan Ridge community on Facebook. But we have a special treat for you. I want to introduce very briefly. We're mixing it up every week to keep it exciting. I just want to introduce my co-hostess, Raina Satori. So welcome to the show.
Hi, watchers. Hi, Michael. How's it going, everybody? All the peeps out there. Okay, is it Nevada or Nevada? Because I heard you say Nevada County peeps and then Nevada.
Well, it depends what part of the country you originally hail from.
Okay,
It's an enunciation, thing.
Was there a native version of Nevada? Nevada?
Well, interestingly enough, there is.
Is there?
And I just found out recently, we all have heard of Truckee.
Yeah.
Truckee was named actually after a Native American chief called Troquet.
Oh.
And
okay.
when some of the original settlers came and they were lost, they're like, how do we get, who are you? Where do we go? And they're like, Troquet.
Go to
So
Truckee.
it stuck.
Oh, I thought Truckee was like something that was part of a railroad. Wow. See, you learn so many new things here on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice to see you all. Thanks for tuning in again.
Well, great to have you here. And
crazy times.
Yeah, it really is. We're going to chat about that in a minute. But before we do that, we have the honor of someone I've played music with over the last year and a half. We actually started a group together called the Foothills Groove Collective. And we're going to have a little bit of piano music. And then after that, he's going to have his partner and child, new baby, up to sing a song. Yay. But a nice round of applause for Vince Cantor. So play us a little something. What are we going to hear here? All right, you got the blues tonight, huh? All right, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're hoping to have Vince back and Artemis to share some of their music here in the future on the show. In the past, we had a DJ. It was always nice to have a little bit of some beats during the show and not just talking. So as you know, we're dedicated to edutainment in the world of ADD. It's challenging to actually deliver quality content and in-depth subject matter, but also make it entertaining. And one of the ways we do that now, again, we're going to just take a moment for a little bit of discourse with my co-hostess, Raina Satori. So crazy times indeed.
Yeah, and actually, I have to say, I think we need to relabel it. Instead of ADD, it's RAD, random attention distribution. Because I don't think there's any deficit of attention. It's really just lots of things to focus your attention on simultaneously in, dispersion.
You got to TM that right now. You
Yeah,
heard it here
you
first
heard it
on
here.
the Golden Road
Random
Show.
attention disorder. No, random attention distribution.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute, what'd you say? I was looking over there. I missed it.
Random attention distribution.
Okay, I got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
random attention distribution. And I learned that term from a busker on the street who was hula hooping, playing a harmonica, and then playing a guitar that he was balancing on his chin simultaneously. And he just let me know that, if his parents had reined in his ADD, he would never be able to do that. So, anyways, I know that's not what we're talking about, but this is just an
That's
example.
turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And I think actually these times right now we have to have random attention distribution. There's so many things to pay attention to.
And we have to have hard kombucha from the kombuchery with their new Gold Vibe. And I want to thank Patrick. He is helping to sponsor the show and bringing us lots of delicious, yummy beverages. So thank you, Patrick, and the kombuchery for that.
Wow. it's
And
called
why don't we do this? We have a great show. We have coming up in a minute, Nature, who's going to talk about his work with Nature's Dreams and some of his work around arts and culture. We also have the Peace and Justice Report.
Yep.
And you have a guest tonight who's coming in.
We have David Madrona tonight. He's a really interesting character. He's a part of the Nevada County Assembly, and he has been spearheading the process of basically what does it mean to be discriminated against in in this kind of like dichotomy of mask, no mask. He chose to go into Briar Patch without a mask to buy his groceries, and they charged him with trespassing. So he's been going through the legal process of how far does that process actually go, and is there any consequence legally? And up until this point,
And it's so interesting because we're in a time where we're kind of we can say new paradigm. I think it's maybe overused and very vague, but we're starting to explore the realities of how far the envelope of our own sovereignty can be
Yes.
pushed, what rights we have, what makes sense, what is completely insane, what is being perpetrated or put on us as an agenda, and really what's real. And that's why we're doing this show, because I think we've come to realize that a lot of corporate media is really has an agenda behind it. So let's do this. I'm going to have Nature up in just a minute, and Raina Satori will be back along with Health with Horacio Rao in a little bit. But why don't we go to one of our theme songs, and we'll be back in just a minute with Nature and Nature's Dreams.
It's the Golden Road TV show. It's the Golden Road TV show. Well, bridging the past with today for a better tomorrow.
Golden Road explores the intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology, paving the road for positive social change.
It's the Golden Road TV show. It's the Golden Road TV show.
And we're back. And that was a little bit of some original bumper music for the theme song for Golden Road Show, produced by Michael Shapiro. And what's nice is we actually had our weekly Novato, whatever you prefer to say, depending on how many hard kombuchas you might have consumed. But we have a lot more talent just really exodusing into the area since the whole COVID and lockdown over the last year. So it's been kind of exciting that our little town up here in the Sierra foothills has really blown up with so much more talent and creativity and tech support. And before we do that, I want to thank Steve Nathan tonight for helping to kind of direct the show and just keep things moving. And as always, I want to thank Tara for helping to switch and doing the technical side. So the first part of the show we're going to do tonight is called is our arts and culture segment. And this is someone I had the opportunity to get to know over the last 6 or 8 months. And actually, he wears many hats, very talented, from producer to comedian to art installationist, and probably a lot of other things I don't even know about. A nice warm round of applause for Nature.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I think you needed more purple.
Yeah, I am the president of the Purple Party. As far as I know, there's other Purple Parties out there, but
Is this official political party?
no, it's a satirical thing. But someday we might have candidates. It's hard to, have produce an entire party and candidates and a whole philosophy and make policies and everything. I mean, I've started to develop it and write it, but it's going to be a while before it fully debuts. I just talk about it and make fun of it in my comedy.
Well, that's good. Now I can give up my aspirations for the party.
Yeah.
So you got that covered.
Yeah.
Great. So a little bit about yourself. I know you do a lot of things. You're fairly new to the community. You've been here for a while.
I was part-time I've spent time on and off here more and more for the last 10 years, but it's really been the last 5 years that I've been a part-time resident, spending as much time here as I can when I'm not on the road touring. And I was going to be on the road touring again this year. And then obviously everybody knows what happened. So I finally took that opportunity to move here as a full-time resident.
Great.
Since
and
last
it's been
May.
amazing the stuff that you've been doing since you've been here. I know you, again, have been producing events. You do art installations. You're also, I saw one of your comedy shows actually at the Kombuchery before things closed down. But why don't you give us a little background of maybe where you're from and how you got involved in being so multifaceted?
Okay, well, I grew up in Reno, Nevada. We say Nevada in Nevada. And I always tell people I was like reborn as an artist in Portland, Oregon, after I went to the Evergreen State College, which was the #1 counterculture school in the country. And that place was a huge artist hub. I was there during the Bush era, actually. And it's a place known for, one of the most famous known animators went there, Matt Groening. And, there's just a lot of, cutting edge creative arts going on there, and people that, are on the fringe or visionary. And then when I moved to Portland, there was a whole other art and music scene that I plugged into. I was plugged into more like the Burning Man art scene, and I started promoting underground dance parties and the burner scene there. And then I started touring the festival scene in 2006. And then by 2007, I was doing art installations, and I just never stopped doing that. And then I was doing comedy on and off since I was a teenager, but then in the last 7 years, I've been doing full-length comedy shows at festivals that I call Silly Monies. And
what?
Silly Monies.
Silly-monies.
Either spelled SILLY or PSY, depending on,
So it's a fusion of a ceremony?
Well, it's kind of a satire in itself. It's a mock, ceremony. I do a lot of ceremonies and stuff, and I feel like the conscious or spiritual community takes itself way too seriously. So I kind of like to take the piss out of myself and, the culture, a little bit, and get everybody to laugh at themselves and each other, because it's life's too short to take it too seriously, obviously. And it's good medicine. If laughter is the best medicine, then we should be laughing at ourselves and the world as much as possible.
Absolutely. Well, we had the opportunity to see your show again at the Kombuchery. It was hilarious. So you donned many different archetypes and personalities during that time. So we have a video we're going to show in a minute. So why don't we switch gears to a little bit about what you do with your nature's dreams and your nesting work? Because I think this is really fascinating idea, especially right now, since we're kind of reevaluating and looking at things a little bit differently that might have had certain meanings in the past. Can you tell us something about your nesting project?
Yeah, I originally was calling what I do Nature's Dreams, and now I put everything under the umbrella of the Nestiverse because it feels more full spectrum and all encompassing. But Nature's Dreams was kind of like, Gaia's dreams and like what the visions that I would have with or without plant medicine of the world, living in harmony with the natural world and with Gaia, and having a symbiotic, synergistic relationship with the natural world, and having an actual relationship with all of our environments, whether it's the ocean or the forest or the desert, because they're all have their own personality and character and spirit, and so the installations, the nests, the earth mandalas, the altars are meant to like bring that to life and to, consecrate or make the space sacred. I mean, you could say all space is sacred or it's all native or indigenous land, but it's more like, it's and then, it's kind of bringing that energy to life and creating a space where people can commune with nature or to meditate, pray. We did Meditation Mountain for several years at Lightning in a Bottle, and that was specifically for meditation and getting away from the chaos of the rest of the festival. And then at Beloved, we created a network of nests or sacred spaces that kind of created like a grid work throughout the festival.
So let's do this, because there's a lot of intense, dense conversation that we have on the show.
Right.
But you are a person, since you're an artist and producer, you brought some video that talks a little bit more about your work. It's kind of a trailer for a film that you're working on, or you're filming.
We have plenty of footage, and we'd still love to produce a full-length documentary. I wanted to make it a little more lighthearted and more maybe a mockumentary, make fun of myself and the work that I do. But this trailer's a little more serious.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask Tara if we can go over to the Nature's Dreams video. We'll be back in a couple minutes with a little closing discourse with nature, and we have our nest guest.
Nest guest.
You are our nest guest, but we will have our next guest. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I didn't do my vocal exercises. That's the problem. But let's go over to the video. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with more on the Golden Road TV show.
I'm Nature Dreamweaver, and for the past 6 years I've been touring, creating sacred space art installations at art and music festivals, building altars, mandalas, and large-scale human-sized nests.
I came upon a child of God. He was walking along the road.
And it's now become my life's work. It started as just something I was doing for fun and something I felt called to do, and then I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it because I was learning so much, and the response was so great, and the love and the gratitude just continued to grow beyond my wildest imagination, beyond my wildest dreams of anything I could ever really do with my life or create in this world. These spaces have been used for ancestral arts workshops, for ceremonies, for rituals, temple spaces, altar spaces, healing spaces. I really want it to be like a place of cross-cultural pollination, where it really breaks down the borders and boundaries between all the religions that have been fighting for so long, and show them that we all come together on common ground, that really the root of all of our worship is in the earth.
Back to the garden.
This powerful journey of creating sacred art, creating sacred space, has been so deeply transforming for me that I just awakened to a living dream every day. That's kind of what my life is now. I'm dreaming bigger, and I want to touch the whole world, and I want to create permanent works of art and sacred spaces and create more gardens and get the message out to more people to hopefully the whole world by the end of my life. I mean, that's my goal, to really leave a legacy of art that helps people to dream, awaken, transform, heal, and to create the life that they want to live. And it's kind of a story within a story, because it's just the story of one person's shamanic journey in this community, who went from spectator to participant, and became something more than he ever dreamed he could be. I never considered myself an artist until 5 years ago, and now I'm out there teaching people how to become professional artists. I feel like when I create these spaces, a veil is dropped, and people they see me, they see themselves, they see the spirit of the earth or the universe coming through the piece, and they're just so touched by it, or inspired by it, or grounded by it, or they feel just deep emotion, something beyond, and that's always been my intention with the art, is for people to have that kind of otherworldly or visionary experience, for healing and for change and for transformation and for happiness and for growth, and it's for so many things. I mean, I do this for so many reasons. The reason that the name Nature Dreamweaver came to me is to weave all of these different inspirations that I've had over the years into one cohesive, holistic picture that will be able to leave a lasting impact on the planet.
Thanks for having us, Michael. My name is Artemis. This is Vincent on keys. Our daughter Octavia is going to be accompanying us tonight. Thanks for being with us. We're going to be singing an original song called The Real.
No pause to the heart, eyes closed for days. So hard, undone by our life's aggressive ways. Oh, when the love's too low and the grade just stays. So hard, no matter what anyone could say. Yeah, ooh. Cut out the lights and pack your clothes. So nobody ever has to know. No, set fire to the house and walk for days. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
nice round of applause for Artemis and Vincent.
Thanks, you guys.
And the baby. That was a great intro.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Golden Road TV show. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino. Thank you so much for taking a few moments of your sacred time to invest in community media, independent media, and to learn more about people in the community that are doing great work around arts and culture, peace and justice, health, and also ecology and the environment. So we have about another minute left. A piece of footage you just saw was about some of nature's work. And we're happy to have him here in the studio. He's a pretty busy guy. You're also working at Elixart, making up elixirs and magical
I'm there tomorrow.
concoctions. Not
Yeah.
tomorrow?
No, I'm there tomorrow.
All
I'm there
right.
tomorrow, yeah. In Grass Valley, come see us.
So again, I know you do so much and we have limited time, but we are exploring being able to kind of do other shows here in the space, and also once the world opens up, to take the cameras out of the studio and to cover some of the events that are happening in the area. But what are some of the things that you're envisioning or planning for the not too distant future?
I mean, over the winter, I usually have a lot of conversations with people about nesting in the spring and summer. So I'm working with a lot of different and talking to a lot of different local landowners about having different types of small nesting events or retreats. I just got off the phone with somebody actually in Hawaii, which they just started a retreat center, and they want to bring me out and do a nest. And there's people, Everland, which was a new community outside of Denver, founded by some earners and artists, and they want nature ecological art on their land. So it's kind of open, and it's, things are going to start landing on the calendar. I would like to focus a lot of my attention locally. I've started nesting at places like my friend's property on the Ridge, and then Heartland, which is a community that started in South County. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on putting together a comedy troupe and
So I'll tell you, why don't we have you back in the future? We can do a whole broadcast of a comedy show.
I'd love that. I would love
fantastic.
that. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
A nice round
Thanks,
of applause,
everybody.
everyone, for nature. And let's have a little musical segue. And we're going to have our next guest up. And she actually brought a guest in. We're going to go to the Peace and Justice Report. Is that correct? And we're going to have Raina Satori up with her guest, David. We'll be back in just 60 seconds with lots more show here on the Golden Road.
It's a golden road, TV show. Yes, it's a golden road, TV show. It's a Golden Road TV show.com.
All right, and we're back. Welcome back to the Golden Road TV show. I'm Raina Satori, co-host. Happy to be here. Love this background. I'm in space right now. Isn't it gorgeous? Yeah. So I'm giving you the Peace and Justice Report today. Is there peace? Is there justice? Right? We don't really know the answer to that question right now, especially right now. And I have a guest here today. He is a member of the Nevada County Assembly. And my guest has really taken it upon himself to see just how far down the rabbit hole we can go with this process, with the legal process. So everybody, I'd like to introduce you to David Madrona. Hi, David.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
So what I wanted to say about David is that I feel like he has really been the vanguard of our mission here. So would tell us a little bit about what you're up to and what you've been doing? I know we're talking about this. What we're bringing up today is actually your court case. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with your court case?
Okay. Do you want to know why I have a court case?
Maybe we do want to know why you have a court case. Why do you have a court case, David?
Well, I initially chose to stand up for what I felt was true for me at Briar Patch, and I chose not to wear a mask, and I ended up getting cited for trespassing. It was a citizen's arrest, and the main thing I want to say about that is I didn't do it for myself. I did it for a lot of people that felt the same way, because in my own truth, spiritually, and and also for my sense of health, and I know that there's others that feel the same way. That's what I was standing up for, and the results was trespassing citation.
Right, and there's a lot of confusion going around. It seems like because there's a mask mandate and not necessarily a mask law. So can you speak to your findings on the difference between a mandate and a law and what's going on with you in that process?
Well, my understanding it's not a mandate, it's a guidance. And that was part of what I was questioning Briar Patch's policies about, is that there is exceptions, religious, medical, and other exceptions. And so I was surprised to find out that they were not choosing any exceptions. And then we have our, as far as law goes, we have our constitutional and legal rights that don't seem to fit in with the policies that we're seeing around the community.
Right, yeah. Are you feeling, like, how has your process of going through the legal system been?
That's been really interesting. I've been doing this for over 7 months now. My maximum charge that they could ever charge me is $220. Even Briar Patch, management from Briar Patch said that they didn't feel like they wanted to pursue this, but the DA took it on. So I've been, the other thing that I chose to do is, if I'm not going to wear a mask because I don't believe that it's right legally and for other reasons, into Briar Patch or other stores and whatever in this area, because I think it's unlawful and against my constitutional freedom and all that and rights, then why would I wear a mask into the courthouse? So I've chosen not to wear a mask into the courthouse. So I've had many hearings and many postponements. I also choose not to do a Zoom or any electronical appearance for that, because I also have the right to face my accusers, and I've been there in good faith every time. But that process has been dragged out for 7 months. I have motions. I've written a number of motions. I've gotten a lot of help with all this. I've also had affidavits to drop. To dismiss the charges, and they just keep moving forward, and it's been going on for over 7 months now.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious, maybe I'll ask you a little bit more of a difficult question. How would you respond to people who feel afraid in the grocery store of somebody who's not wearing a mask? Because I know that there are people who have a lot of information that has made them feel very afraid of people who are not wearing a mask. So how would you respond to somebody?
Well, I'm sorry that they're afraid, and I also want to say I don't oppose anyone for choosing to wear a mask. I don't have any issues with that. But I also believe in our own individual choices. But when it comes to that, initially to me it was I just felt in my heart something's not right with this. Since then, because I have gotten involved because of this whole experience, I've received and have looked at and researched a lot of information on this, and And the one thing I'm not going to do is debate with people that are believing in whatever they're believing in. But I clearly understand that what my heart was saying was very true, because there's no real concern. There is clearly no pandemic, and there's a lot of risks to wearing masks, include permanent risks by wearing masks. So in that, from that regard, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's a challenging situation. I definitely, I can see both. I could argue both sides of that. And in fact, I would encourage anybody, if you feel really strongly about your position, maybe it might be fun to, for one day, take the other position for a day and see if you can really argue that. Because I think empathy is so important right now. That's one of the major things that's, keeping us connected. And I know that you're really interested in unity and keeping and bridging the gap. As somebody who has gone super deep into the wormhole of how far can I go in not wearing a mask, how would you bridge the gap? What are your ideas to bridge the gap between people who want to wear masks and people who don't want to wear masks?
So I had a meeting yesterday, and it was addressing the concerns we have about Calios, and they're starting. They've kind of conceded because of pressures that they've received in this community. And a lot of our business owners have taken a lot of pressure, and a lot of individuals have received a lot of pressure, and a lot of it's, some brutal attacks, including death threats. And the reason I'm here today is because, when this whole thing started with me is, I ended up on Facebook, and I didn't know what was going on. But what I realized is that we've got a huge division in our community, and it's just, that's my main concern. And as far as, that meeting we had yesterday, I'd like to continue with those kind of meetings, to start dialogue with the community, to see how we can move from this division, divisiveness, to a place of back to healing the community, and starting to get into a place of community unity. And that's really where I'm at with this.
Yeah. Well, that's, that's really what we got to do. So I want to continue having this conversation with you. We're going to cut to a video, and we'll be back in 1 minute to find our closing commentary on this topic. So we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Hello and welcome to the Source Directory, a completely new and innovative approach to create a list of individuals, organizations, projects, and events that are helping to make our area more resilient and a healthier, happier place to live. Within the directory, you'll find hundreds of different businesses and people who are all committed and dedicated to community building, environmental restoration, self-sustainability, and economic development. Some of the categories you'll find them under is arts and culture, health and healing, peace and justice, food and farm, science and technology. I'm one of the founders, Michael DiMartino, and I'm also the host and producer of Golden Road TV and Radio, which produces a weekly 2-hour TV and radio show.
All right, and we're back. Thanks so much, Michael, for that engaging interlude there. I really appreciate you and all of the efforts that you give. So we're going to finish up here with David Madrona. David, so you've gone through all of this legal processes. What has happened at this point? Is there a resolution for your legal case? Have you received a judgment?
No, I haven't, and I don't know. I was there last week, and it was my trial date. Of course, I didn't go into the courtroom. I may receive further charges for failure to appear, even though I have appeared, in good faith. I'm at the courthouse. I want to be able to face my accusers, but I am waiting to hear back from that hearing that happened last week. So I don't really know where I'm at. Right. But it could end up in appeal, and a lot. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to go away. I feel like I have my constitutional rights, and
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for moving through this so that we can all kind of see how the process goes. All right, well, we really appreciate you tuning in, like I said before, and we're really all about unity and bridging the gap here. So if anybody else out there has ideas about how to bridge the gap, you can just give us some comments in the comment field on YouTube, because really that's what we need to do. So, all right, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to get back to some live music with Artemis. Songs, baby, at this time. All right, loving you. See you soon.
Thanks again for having us. Great show tonight, you guys. We're going to close out here with another original called Burial. We have Vincent on keys, keeping us in tune here. Thanks so much for watching tonight.
Solitary, not lonely, how to pursue what only I see. He spoke to me, a promise he means to keep. What you see is fire, what you hear is light. If you're so inspired, show me love tonight. What you see is fire, what you hear is light. If you're so inspired, show me love tonight, and let me know. And I won't stop looking for you.
Thanks so much, you guys.
It's a Golden Road TV show. It's a Golden Road TV show. Well, listen once, listen twice. Oh, won't you please take my advice? It's the Golden Road TV show.com.
And we're back to the Golden Road TV show. We're evolving here. It seems like the time that we're in, so many transition and changes. But another nice round of applause for Artemis and Vince, you guys. We're getting more beauty to the beast every day. So, but again, thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and we're broadcasting live every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. I do want to mention that right now we're currently broadcasting on YouTube. So you can comment. At some point, we're going to actually take questions from people. We want to make the show much more interactive, and we're also in the actually process of putting in our own server to have our own bioregional channel. Maybe you have a show idea that you're interested in, but we are going to be doing a whole wide range of shows, including Gold Vibe Live and some other productions. Maybe we'll get Nature back in here and we can do some comedy. I definitely know it's a good medicine in such heavy, serious times. But nonetheless, as his message is, and as I tend to try to live my life, nature is such an important medicine right now as we go through these stressful times, to take time to drop in, to take time to spend with yourself, to align your mind and your body along with your spiritual self, and to really get attuned. So the next part of the show kind of segues right off of that. It's called Gift of Health. And this is where we have different guests that come in that talk about the importance of spiritual, mental, physical, emotional health. And not only that, but giving us tips of how we can help achieve that. So he's actually been here a couple weeks in a row. He's a very high level healer. He consults with a lot of people throughout the bioregion. And we're very happy and honored to have on the show tonight and the last few weeks, and hopefully more in the future, maybe with his own show, Horacio Roa. Nice round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael.
You're making me look bad. You're so well dressed. What's
Well,
you're setting a standard.
follow it.
Good. So give us, I know you've been on the show before, give us a little bit of a synopsis of your background of how you ended up getting into this healing work.
Well, it's coming from actually my family and my culture. I am born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but my parents coming from Paraguay. We are Indians, Guaraníes, and Spanish and Dutch, but we got all the Guaraníes culture. Then herbs, beans, corn, grains and vegetables is part of our culture, plus common sense. After I was raised actually in a natural way, also at my 15 I started to do yoga, and I am dietary technician and chemist, and I dedicate my life to healing since my 25, and now I'm 59. And I keep working on try to basically educate people. We believe education actually is the way to healing.
Great. So what's interesting is talking that you actually come from a tradition of healing, from a cultural context, but you also have a lot of the science that you understand, the chemistry, and you're actually incorporating that into a kind of a holistic platform of healing. So in the time that we have, and again, I'm really happy and honored that we're considering having you part of the show more often, and you also have some great B-roll and content of stuff you've been working on. So again, I'm really happy and honored to have you here. But tell us, in this time that we're in right now, of course, there's a lot of stress, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's talk a little bit about stress, because also I think that plays into, to really become healthy, we have to initiate some discipline, right? It's not just being happy all the time is part of healthy. Part of it is how we, whether it's through our diet, our nutrition, the way we think, what we project, that health also comes from discipline. But let's start a little bit with what you see happening with stress, and we can lead people to maybe some ideas around that.
Well, stress is, they are impressions. Impressions coming through your eyes, through your ears, And stress is coming from outside, and also stress coming from inside to you. This means we suffer two kind of stress. But one of the main reason of stress is because we don't accept pain, and pain becomes suffering. But pain becomes suffering because we are not mature enough for accept how life it is in his own terms. Then we don't accept present under the present terms.
Which is also, I know I've studied Buddhism. It's a very Buddhist concept of our perception or misperception of the world greatly affects our state of being, right? So that this is very important that people have to actually take responsibility at the root of their conditioning, their socialization, and how they perceive reality. It's kind of like the roots of a tree. That's really where this starts as far as wellness or disease or disconnection. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what you believe creates your attitude. What you believe create attitudes and ideas. Then it would be nice to have a filter where you can actually discriminate your own beliefs and choose beliefs that are more based in your own purpose and your own aims. Then you need to be careful who you serve, actually.
And also who we surround ourselves with, because there's something to be said about our atmosphere. You know, in Feng Shui, they talk about the way our home is designed, how we have plants, how we maybe receive sunlight, how air moves through a space. So whether it's our home environment or people we associate with, also the environment plays a lot into our sense of health and wellness, correct?
Well, that's what I say in the beginning. Stress is an impression. The music we just hear is a harmony, have rhythm, and creates it's not stressful because it's harmony. Then when we are in inner harmony, our organs, they're working in their own rhythm. The organs need to have a certain tune-up, like the piano, like the voice and the piano together. The stress is coming from inside because the organs, they are dirty or they are out of tune-up, and the organs, they are out of tune-up with the other organs in their own system, and their own system is out of tune-up with the rest of the system. Then the chaos is very stressful inside. Then we cannot sleep, we cannot poop, we cannot really think straight, because inside to us is like an orchestra where all the instruments, they are out of tune.
I love your analogies too, because it's very easy for people to understand. Maybe they don't understand medical verbiage or things in that type of sense, but when you put it in that way, it makes it very easy to understand. And also, people can kind of understand their relationship to that too. So in stress, and I know this is something we could talk a lot about, we turn on the TV today, we watch corporate media, there's a lot of stress to that, and fear, and a constant really harvesting of that anxiety that they create to keep you attuned to that media. What are some things, simple things people can do? I know I personally love starting the day not only for my digestion, but I love starting the day with a warm tea, taking time just to, as they say in Buddhism, to be empty, to be present. By being empty, we empty out our thoughts and all of our feelings, and then we actually can become full because we're actually becoming aware of the moment, and we're being in the present. But having that cup of tea and a little morning meditation really changes everything. What are some other things people could do regardless? Maybe they're a single mom, maybe they go to work early or work late, but what's something people could do to help bring their stress levels down?
A few weeks ago, I saw an interview from Yogi Turkic, man, he's 102, and they make him the same question, and I'm going to make the same answer. And he said, I go out and I breathe very deep 3 times. Then breathing is actually something basically for meditation and for life and for independence, for health. Breathing is common sense. Breathing is the connection with this reality. I breathe and I smell you and I can know you through my breathing. Then breathing is a way you can touch the reality and be inside and outside at the same time, because breathing shares the both worlds. But then through breathing we can control our mind, and through breathing we can control our health, and through breathing we can control our digestion. I am not very fan to say too much what to do. I really like to help people to think and questioning, and of course I have many herbs diet and many tools for cure, but it's not about really cure. It's about to educate yourself. It's about to understand if we are sick, it's because we are young. If we are suffer emotionally, it's because we are young. Meaning we need to growing up, we need to learn. Then illness and pain and depression is only bridges for be more mature and understand what is next in our life.
So speaking about tools, you have a lot of great videos. Can you tell us, let's tell people your website address, and then let's go over and watch one of your instructional videos. I think it's very informative, and then we'll come back with a couple more minutes, and that'll about bring us to the end of the show. But what are we going to see now with the video?
Well, my website is holisticeye.com, and this video is about motivation. And the reason why I did this video is because the more important thing in health is not what you really eat or what you know or how much therapy you get, is actually discipline. And discipline is like the music we just hear, is harmony and science and art, and to have self-love. But I can talk more extensively about discipline next time.
Great. Okay, so we're going to go over to the video now. Again, I want to thank Tara back there juggling all the various elements of the show, and also for Steve Nathan here kind of helping to direct on the floor. And also tonight we have Davin helping out with sound and just the overall gestalt and synergy of it, and looking forward to him contributing some great content. He's a visionary artist. But let's go over now to a little piece of video by Horacio Roa.
In order to healing yourself, you need to be active. And motivation is a very big element in healing. Is will, is try to get out from the place make you sick. One of the things we need to know is what I want, what I need, and who am I. When we are sick, we are stuck in bed, we don't have energy. But we have our heart, we have our emotions, we have values. Then you go to your priorities. Try to feel really, if you want to be alive, thinking in your children, thinking in the people you love. Mostly the time we cannot to do for us what we can do for others. In order to go through to a healing programs, you are who needs to healing yourself. You need will, you need energy. A motivation is values, a priority, feel yourself and see if you really love yourself.
It's a golden road.
explores the intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology.
It's a golden road, the TV show.com.
And we're back. And again, a big thanks to Michael Shapiro for putting those 4 themes. And yeah, again, so we have about another minute or 2 left. And again, some of these subjects that we dive into really would command their own show. So there's only so much we can do in the short time that we have. But nonetheless, we are looking at platforming out multiple shows over the next couple months. We're going to have a live music show and many other things. So again, we're just kind of letting you know, people in the community. Again, you're watching the Golden Road TV show. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino. Golden Road, bridging the past with today for a better tomorrow, and showcasing the individuals and businesses that are contributing to a more resilient and sustainable community. So again, we have another minute or 2, and we're going to go back to, we've been talking about stress and motivation and discipline with my guest, who's actually now becoming kind of a co-host, and we're really happy that he's here every week. Another round of applause for Horacio Oroa. So thank you. So I know you have so much to share, and I do like kind of leaving people with something they can, kind of bite into or have to take home. In the last few minutes, can we offer any other tidbits for people that they can start to explore in their life to live healthier? And I love the fact, and part of the reason we love having you on the show is because I know and we understand that the spirit, the mind, and the body have to work together. So some tidbits of knowledge, if you may.
Well, I cannot do a short tip. My tip is more in connection with prevention, cure, and regeneration. Then you need to think in these 3 terms. But I will really point to something very important, which is fermentations. Is a very simple thing to get a bunch of celery, put it in sea salt, and in 3 days you have the best flora for your intestines. Then fermentations, they have different alchemy. The fermentation of milk is the lowest, is the cheapest, which is based in sugar. What we need to know, fermentation, they are based in sugar or based in salt. And the base in sugar is a very, is not a good quality for your health. The high quality of fermentations, they are coming from salt. Japanese culture, they have the best, like umebojis or miso or soya sauce. Actually, I try to myself to have the best sources of this fermentation. If you need some, you can contact me.
Great. Well, let's do that. I think having maybe a whole show that we talk about the idea of the digestive biome and the how that really governs so much of our body and our health, and we can talk about some recipes. I know we even talked about the idea of maybe a cooking show.
Sure.
So my inner Italian says yes. Let's do it. Let's cook.
Well, cooking is very fun, and then it's actually is one of the more practical ways to express self-love. It's very pragmatic to really show you love yourself.
Exactly, especially in a fast food culture where everything needs to be low quality, cheap, fast, and not always made with love. So,
well, it's very interesting to think about why you save time, and then if you don't cook for save time, and then you end into watching a bad movie, and that you save time for that, and you don't spend time in the kitchen. You need to think about really what you do with your time life. But cooking is an art, is a therapy, is actually romantic, and after dinner we can have a lot of fun.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So, wow, I'm getting hungry already. So again, thank you so much. We're going to end tonight's show with a little bit of some harmony. Again, an important thing, how our sounds affect our consciousness and how that affects our whole overall health. So we're going to finish tonight with a little more music from Artemis and Vince. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, share the channel. Every week we're mixing it up, and we're going to continue to ramp up production. And thank you so much for your support. And with that, another round of applause as we go out with Artemis and Vince.
Thanks so much, Michael. That was an awesome show. Again, I'm Artemis Arthur. I'm accompanied by Vince tonight. We're singing some original music I've been writing recently. Vince has been a big part in helping make these melodies come together. So we hope you guys enjoy this song. It's called The Real.
No pulse to the heart, eyes closed for days. Oh, heart undone by our life's aggressive ways. Oh, oh, when the low's too low and the grade just stays. So no matter what anyone could say. Yeah, I said, cut out the lights and pack your clothes. Oh, nobody ever has to know. No, set fire to the house and walk for days. Oh, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Well, let's see. A new body, new mind, new heart, new soul. Oh, but nobody lives on luck alone. No answer by phone and left for dead. Oh, but heart, did you hear a word I said? No, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Yeah, wherever he goes, I go. Whatever he knows, I know. Wanna know if it's possible. Ooh. One ticket as it came. All in all, it's all the same. Live by the light, die by the dream. Living life torn at the seams until you can't strip it bare. You'll never know what was there. You'll never know. Oh.
Thanks, you guys.